of Leafs 3-3. Kristen, which move by Kyle Dubas earns your highest grade?
Well, it's got to be creating cap flexibility with the trades of Kasperi Kapanen and Andreas Janssen, because without those moves, a lot of the other things that Toronto has done to improve itself wouldn't have even been possible. I mean, you're saving $3.2 and $3.4 million respectively without having to take on any major contracts in return. And that's what opens up the signings of TJ Brodie and Wayne Simmons so that the Leafs could actually address some of their areas of need. And you don't have to continue to just build off of the same type of player.
Well, for me, it's how he remade the defense. You mentioned Brodie. He finally gets the right side top four answer the Leafs have been looking for forever. He also brings in Bogosian, adds some physicality, improves the depth with Mikko Lehtinen, the KHL Defenseman of the Year. Kristen, Martin Marincin won't be the first guy up if the Leafs have an injury on defense in next year's playoffs.
Absolutely. Now, sticking with the defense, now that the Leafs have made these additions, what does your ideal top four look like?
Well, I put Brodie with Jake Muzzin, and I give those guys the toughest matchups, the hardest minutes, the defensive zone starts. Morgan Rielly is a tremendous defenseman, but defending isn't his strong suit. I pair him with Bogosian to balance him out a little bit. Remember, Bogosian proved in the playoffs he can be a good complement to an elite defenseman. And the other options for the top four duty, Travis Dermott, Justin Hall, they just don't have the longest resumes.
Well, see, I would put Brodie with Rielly because that's your two best defensemen on the same pair. And on paper, at least, it looks like they have really complementary skill sets. And then you look at the second pairing with Jake Muzzin. I mean, you'd think Justin Hall would get the first crack there from Sheldon Keefe just because he played there last season. But I like Bogosian there because that's a heavy pairing. I mean, the two of them, Bogosian's got that championship pedigree, so does Muzzin. And then if you have kind of a skill pairing with Brodie and Rielly, you could have a bit of a heavier duo with Muzzin and Bogosian. And I think that that's a nice compliment.
Final topic, which bargain signing, which we're defining as $1 million or less, will make the biggest impact for the Leafs next season?
Well, in the locker room, no question, that's going to be Joe Thornton. But on the ice, I like Jimmy Vesey. I think that when a player's humbled a little bit by the NHL, it can really get their competitive juices flowing. And last season was not good for Vesey in Buffalo, but he's getting a great chance on a great team. And the thing is, there's a lot of speedy, smaller forwards on this team. But Vesey, he can throw his weight around a little bit. And if he can reunite with his old Harvard teammate, Alex Kerfoot, reignite some of that chemistry, that's all the better for him.
For me, it's Jumbo Joe all the way. He's only 1 year removed from a 51-point season. He's a legit third-line center, which would allow the Leafs to potentially move Alex Kerfoot, who you just mentioned, to the wing where I felt he was most effective last season. He's a big boost on the power play, of course, Thornton is. And you mentioned the intangibles. He's a loud guy. Even coming to a new team, he won't be shy about speaking up and pushing guys outside their comfort zone. He's no ordinary Joe, and this hasn't been an ordinary Leafs 3-3.